Hey, Blowfish fans, we're here with episode one of a new show we're creating called Inside the Tank. Gives you just a look inside at the players, coaches, front office staff, maybe even some interns down the road. But again, for episode one this year, we're going to be joined by head coach Michael Menhart. Again, I'm Spencer Ball. I guess your host for this whole experience. But Coach, thanks for joining us here, and just going to ask you a couple questions, and hopefully, let the Blowfish fans get to know you a little bit better.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and so I know this is a pretty blanket question, but if you had to give one goal for this squad in 2025, the 20th anniversary of the Blowfish, what's that goal going to be there, Coach?
This is a special year, like you said, 20th anniversary. So what's better than to try to win it all? Fell a little short last year, but we're looking to bounce back. Got some new blood in here and trying to win it.
Yeah, and you mentioned, you've won the Pettit Cup in 2023, made it to the finals last year. Um, but a lot of those veteran presences from those past 2 years are moving on. So kind of what are all the new pieces to this team? How do they play into the equation and help actually strengthen this squad?
Yeah, so definitely you can't overlook the fact that we have a couple of those guys on that 2023 team, like Thomas Powell, Zach Cowart, Blake Martin, Kate Bachnight. Those were big pieces, so we're lucky enough to have them back. So when I saw those guys last year, my first year as the assistant, I was like, that's the standard, and that's a tough standard to, find a player of that caliber. So being able to recruit and try to see what type of players to bring to build around them was the main goal. And hopefully I did a good enough job to make that happen.
Absolutely. And you mentioned you were the assistant coach last year. Is this your first head coaching gig?
This is the first one.
Okay, so what are kind of the emotions there? How are you feeling heading into your first game tomorrow?
Just excited. That's all it is. A little nerves as always, but excited. I know all the players are excited. I'm excited for the players more than anything, and I know they want to get out there and compete and win some games.
And we start on the road this year. We've got Florence on Thursday, but then we come back home to the Fish Bowl. You've got Macon, actually the first home opener 2 years in a row.
Mhm.
But what's it like playing in front of those Blowfish faithful?
They're the best, aren't they? You any day of the week they show up and they're always there. They support the guys, and the guys love it. Some of these guys play at smaller schools and never played in front of a crowd like this, so this is a new experience for them, and they eat it up. So nothing but a big thank you to all the fans that come out and support on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And being with the team last year, if you had to pick just one, what would be your favorite memory from the 2024 season?
Oh, 2024 had to have been the Fort Jackson night when we hit a walk-off sack fly, I think, and
Think so.
Ashby Vining, couldn't get him back this year as he graduated, but Ashby Vining was doing laps through the stands with all the soldiers, and they were all giving him high fives, and it was just really special moments for both the players and the soldiers there. So just a great all-around moment.
I'm sure everyone in the org has that one circled. I mean, that
Oh
place
yeah.
gets packed out. It's rowdy. It's a whole lot of fun. And another question for you, obviously the Lex being the best place to play in the CPL. When you're on the road, do you have a favorite stadium to visit or play when you're traveling?
My favorite one is the one that we go and win at. So depends on which team we're playing.
Well, hopefully all of them if you get enough chances. That's right.
That's right.
Um, and finally, we touched on it at the start. It's the 20th year for the team. What would it mean not only for you but for the rest of the squad to bring the Pettit Cup right back to Lexington in the 20th year of the team?
It would mean everything from, the players to the coaching staff to the front office, all the interns, all of them. And it would just mean the world to all just exactly what we built and how much time and effort has gone into, putting on a good show, putting a good product on the field. So it would mean a ton.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Again, that's going to be all for episode one. Thanks to Coach Menhart for joining us, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Inside the Tank. As always, go Blowfish.
Go Blowfish.